Imagine a shark so massive, it could swallow a great white hole. Now here's the shocking part. This monster wasn't just real. It ruled Earth's oceans for millions of years, and scientists call it the Megalodon. But here's the question nobody can fully answer. How did the biggest predator in history simply vanish? Stay with me, because by the end you'll discover a theory that might just blow your mind. Let's rewind 23 million years. Picture the open ocean. Endless blue waters, whales roaming in herds, sea turtles the size of cars, and lurking beneath them, the ultimate killer. The Megalodon wasn't just big, it was colossal. Some estimates say it stretched up to 60 feet long. That's the size of a school bus, with jaws that could crush a car in seconds. Its teeth, serrated blades, each bigger than your hand, designed to slice through flesh and bone. Imagine hundreds of these teeth snapping shut at a force strong enough to crush a whale's skull. But that wasn't the scariest part. The Megalodon wasn't a reckless hunter. It was strategic. It targeted the richest prey in the ocean, whales. The very creatures that fill today's seas with song were once its favorite meal. So, how did this beast hunt? Fossil evidence shows that Megalodon often attacked from below, ambushing whales by crushing their ribs in a single bite. The prey wouldn't even have time to fight back. Think about that. Entire pods of whales, running from one predator. It's like lions chasing elephants. Only this was happening underwater, at a scale we can barely imagine. But here's where it gets even more chilling. The Megalodon wasn't alone in the seas. It faced rivals, powerful ones, rivals that would eventually play a role in its downfall. Because while Megalodon was the king of the ocean, a new challenger was quietly rising. A challenger that still rules our oceans today. And what happened when these two titans met might have sealed the fate of the Megalodon forever. But the story of the Megalodon isn't just about size. It's about dominance. Pure, terrifying dominance. This beast wasn't just big. It was designed to rule the oceans. Its jaws could open wide enough to swallow two grown humans side by side. And the bite. Scientists say it could crush a car in half. Imagine the seas 3 million years ago. Schools of massive whales, giant sea turtles, and sharks the size of today's great whites. And then, out of the shadows, the Megalodon strikes. One bite to the chest of a whale, and it's game over. That's why people call it the whale eater. But here's the crazy part. The Megalodon wasn't just hunting. It was shaping the ocean itself. Because when a predator is that powerful, everything else evolves around it. Whales started traveling in pods, sticking together for protection. Other sharks moved to different hunting grounds. The ocean's balance bent around the Megalodon. And yet, even the strongest ruler eventually faces a challenger. Because something happened that the Megalodon couldn't fight. Not with its teeth, not with its size. The Earth itself began to change. Temperatures dropped, ice ages started creeping in. The oceans cooled, and with them, the Megalodon's prey began to disappear. The giant whales it once hunted. They started migrating to colder waters where the Megalodon couldn't survive. The king of the seas was suddenly starving. And here's where the twist hits. Despite all its power, the Megalodon didn't go out in a bloody final battle. No epic showdown. Instead, it faded away, forced into extinction by a world that left it behind. But that's not the part that keeps people up at night. Because there's a question, one that scientists argue about even today. Did the Megalodon really go extinct? Or is there a chance that somewhere in the deep, dark oceans we've barely explored, it's still out there? That's where we'll go next. Because the theories about its possible survival are wilder than you think. Here's the thing. We've explored less than 20% of the ocean. The rest, total mystery. So when people ask what if the Megalodon never really died out, you can see why the question doesn't just vanish. There are stories, fishermen claiming they've seen shadows bigger than their boats, strange bite marks on whales that look too massive for any known shark. Some even say sonar has picked up enormous moving shapes deep below. But here's the truth. Scientists say it's impossible. A predator as huge as the Megalodon couldn't survive without massive amounts of food. And we'd notice if something that size was hunting whales today. No skeletons, no teeth washing up, nothing. And yet doubt lingers. Because humans love a good mystery. We want to believe that a monster could still be out there waiting in the black depths. After all, if giant squids remained myths until just a few decades ago, who's to say what else is hiding? But here's the real twist. While the Megalodon itself is gone, scientists are trying something shocking, bringing it back. Using ancient DNA, researchers believe it might be possible one day to clone or recreate extinct animals. Not just mammoths, not just birds, maybe even the Megalodon. Imagine an ocean where humanity brings back its deadliest predator. Would it thrive, or would we regret it? And this brings us to the real lesson of the Megalodon. Its story isn't just about extinction, it's about survival. Even the mightiest creature can fall if it can't adapt. And in a way, that's a warning for us, because the same oceans that once held giants are now being emptied by pollution and climate change. The Megalodon may be gone, but the question remains: if it ever returned, would we be ready to face it? So the next time you're looking out at the endless blue horizon, ask yourself what secrets are still hiding down there, because sometimes extinction isn't the end of the story.